Oh my gosh. Hey, Crazy Dre podcast. That's amazing. That is amazing, folks. Welcome to the Crazy Dre podcast show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is your main man, aka Crazy Crockett, aka Andre's podcast. Folks, I am back. I got to talk about January 8th, which used to be somewhat kind of curious day for me to be a big fan of this guy, Elvis Presley. Now, backstory is this. I'm going to talk about celebrity obsession, but I'm going to talk about Bob Joyce. And Bob Joyce is a guy on Tik Tok. And I'm going to briefly talk about him a little bit. But I'm going to bring in myself in this equation. Now, coming to find out, based on this new knowledge that I found out about myself, the BMC psychology did studies and said that people with lower IQs are more likely to be obsessed with the heroes, or heroism, or celebrities, or people who are famous. And the reason why I say this is because I took a cognitive test about 7 months ago. No, about 10 months ago. Well, maybe 8. But coming to find out, I always knew I had a lower IQ. And that's not surprising. I've always kind of knew. I went to a private school. They had me take testing at the CLC, the Christian Learning Center, everything else with it. I was in special ed class and all this stuff. That didn't really work for me for my educational purposes. So the reason why I want to talk about this guy is because to understand my point of view about why I don't try to impersonate Elvis Presley is mind-boggling to the best way to explain it. The best way to explain is this. I can't be that mentally disabled to realize to be impersonating someone who's been dead for about 30 years is not normal. Impersonating somebody who's been dead for 30 years is not normal. Now, why do I want to talk about this is because Bob Joyce. Now, Tik Tok has made this guy famous. He's an Arkansas preacher. He sounds somewhat like Elvis. He looks like Elvis a little bit with a beard and his hair and all this stuff. They lined up his eyes, his mouth, his cheeks. Everything's lining up. Elvis was born in 1935. Bob Joyce was born in 1952. That's not possible. To be someone and then be younger than what you were when you died, correct? But what I don't understand is this. Why are not other people who are impersonating Elvis Presley for real? Why are they not considered somewhat mentally ill themselves? Like, for example, if I was to impersonate Elvis Presley in my 20s, in my 30s, and I walked around and pretend to be Elvis and wear my hair like Elvis or bought outfits like Elvis, jumpsuits, and I went around and go to, like, say, karaoke nights and music nights and sing Elvis songs, people would tell me that I'm mentally ill or unstable. But why are not people who are impersonating Elvis right now, why are they not considered mentally ill? That to me is kind of weird. Because you're taking up your whole time, and some people do this for a living, pretending to be someone that they're not. Which I think is kind of bizarre because as a musician, don't you think that you want to create your own music? Don't you want to make your own stuff or your own material? I don't understand how if I had a left hand, I'm gonna raise my left hand up here, folks. So this is also on YouTube and Patreon. But if I were to raise my left hand and I could play the instrument, the guitar, harmonica. You don't need a harmonica; you just need a mouth. Duh. But guitar, drums, or bass guitar, or whatever it was, I wouldn't sing any Elvis Presley songs. None of them. I just wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't pay a band to play his music as I'm singing the song. I just wouldn't do that. The whole key of becoming a musician is become your own person, your own style. Now there are bands out there that sound very similar to other bands. Like there's a band out there that sounds a lot like Led Zeppelin. And people get pissed off about that, oh, you sound just like Led Zeppelin. Well, you need to be inspired by other artists and other music and all that to come up with your own sound. But if it's a literally copycat to everything that they do, yeah, it could be fake. It could be unreal. But to me, I just don't understand why people are so gung-ho about impersonating somebody that's dead. There are over 250,000 to 400,000 people worldwide who impersonate Elvis Presley. There's about 4,000 people in the United States that impersonate Elvis Presley. And some people do it so that their life is so harsh and so bad that they do it so that they can escape the reality for a moment in time. And some people have, pictures and frames and other souvenir stuff of their hero. And that's normal if you're 8, 9, 12 years old. But as you get older, it becomes really strange. So what I found out about people's mental illness is that some people think that they know what their favorite celebrity is thinking, doing, feeling, and they have this one-sided relationship with that person. And it doesn't always have to be a famous person. So a parasocial relationship is a one-sided relationship that fans have with their favorite celebrity. Fans believe that they are personal friends, or they identify with their favorite celebrity. So I don't understand how someone may think that they know somebody. Like when I was younger, you could figure things out a little bit about Elvis. That he was never happy, and he became obese. He was on drugs and alcohol and all this other stuff. You can connect his dots because he killed himself. Basically, he just killed himself, and he died on the toilet. And that's really sad. And so, in a way, that is sad. And it's not just sad because he died. It's sad because other people have died for less reasons than that, because they're not happy with their lives. But being obsessed with somebody like that is very harmful for your own state of mind. You grasp an unrealistic reality of what your life is supposed to be expected of, based on what your favorite sports hero, favorite celebrity, favorite rock star. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be your father, your mother. It could be you're obsessed with your family member, because you can't fulfill your fantasies through them, because you're not them. And I want And I want people to like understand that if my parents, if they knew that I was obsessed with Elvis as a little kid, and remember the reason why I was obsessed with this guy is because I had no friends. People like me don't have friends, so we create strange things in our head, unrealistic things. And for some reason, I was able to grasp the idea that this isn't real. Elvis Presley personality or his identity isn't real from what he really is. Him on the stage is different from him off the stage. And for some reason, I kind of understood that. And I understood that this guy probably killed himself. So my grasp of my own reality or my own consciousness of what my behavior was becoming, I could shut that off completely and say, you know what? He's just a guy that has a great voice, that happens to be very good looking at one point in his life, and that's all right. But if I was to make my own music, I want to make my own music. I don't want to sound like Elvis. I don't want to sound like Guns N' Roses, or I don't want to sound like Nat King Cole. I don't want to sound like Bob Seger. I want to sound like me. Now, again, remember, I can't play instruments. So it's very difficult to be a rock star when you can't play instruments. Now, you can do things digitally now, but that's still different than making a song through your own instruments, your own sound, your own music, your own thing. So for me, I was very fortunate that I was able to grasp the idea of my own reality. That I cannot be Elvis Presley, nor can I understand who he really is because I don't know him. I never did know him. I was not around long enough to be around when he was alive either. So there's no way to connect those dots. Okay? But I wonder why Bob Joyce even has a webcam. If he knows that his preaching the word of God is distracting people from thinking that he's Elvis Presley, then why does he still record his ministries, his teachings? Doesn't make any sense. Again, remember, if that was me pretending to be Elvis Presley today, if I was pretending to be Elvis, my father, who's just recently passed away, would have put me in a nut house. Seriously, a nut house. So I don't understand how these other guys who are in Vegas pretend to be Elvis, why they're not being considered crazies or nut houses or mentally ill people. And I'm not picking on mentally ill people. I'm just like, there's a weird, it's just a weird thing to do. I don't know anybody that should be acting like that. I tell you the truth is that you can be inspired by somebody, but you should never be obsessed with that person. It's just not worth it. It just isn't worth it. So I hope leading into this, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. And I'm going, read a couple of these questionnaire stuff. There's a psychologist. His name is Lynn McCutcheon, and he came up with 23 questions that's named Celebrity Attitude Scale. And these questions, they kind of measure your obsession with your favorite celebrity. Is it just normal, oh, he's my favorite singer, I love his songs, no big deal? Or is he the guy that you think that, oh, I totally understand where he's at? And I'm just going to read a couple of these questions, and I'm not really going to go through them because I just want you guys, I'm going to go through the first three. But that's it. So, this is a concern for you people out there who are obsessed with your fans like Kim Kardashian and all this stuff. If you were to meet your favorite celebrity would know that you're his biggest fan. Kind of like Stan from Eminem. You know that song from Eminem, Stan? The guy is obsessed with Eminem, never met him, killed himself, killed his girlfriend in the car. It's a song. If you think that you would meet your celebrity and they would know your feelings, you're senile. If I were to share with my favorite celebrity a special bond that cannot be described in words. So do you feel like so the question really is that you feel like that you and your celebrity fan or your favorite celebrity and you share a special bond. Now, I think a lot of people who are Elvis Presley impersonators really think that they have a special bond with Elvis. Oh, Elvis's music is through my voice. This is the way that he feeds to his fans through me. That's how I feel about celebrities. That's how I feel about people who are pretending to be Elvis. Or every time I sing an Elvis song to all my fans, or to all his fans, it's Elvis speaking through me. And I want my fans to know, or his fans to know that he's still with them. That's senile. Obsessed with details of my favorite celebrity's life. You're obsessed with their birthdays. You're obsessed with their marriages, their engagements. You're obsessed with their kids' birthday. Senile. You don't need to know about their family, their friends, none of that. Just obnoxiousness. Okay? So these are just three of the examples. So I'm not going to say happy birthday, Elvis, because he's already dead. What I will say this is that if you are struggling with your mental state of mind, go talk to somebody. If you are struggling with your worth, go talk to somebody. Go meet friends. Go talk to neighbors. Go do something. Create your own music. If you can't do music, create your own art. If you can't do art, enjoy other people who can do that. Just go out and have a good time with friends and family. That's all that matters. Being famous, it can't be that good because everyone else kills themselves. All the grunge rockers in the world kill themselves. The only reason why Eddie Vedder didn't kill himself is probably because he was one of the older ones that became famous when he was older. He wasn't 21 or 20 or 19 or 23. He was 28 years old. So remember that. Don't become obsessed with Nirvana or Oasis or anyone like that. Become obsessed with yourself and your success. And when you do become successful, be humble. Be humble because there are other people out there who would never have that talent of you singing or playing instruments or playing sports or doing artwork or pictures or paintings or drawings or whatever it is. So I want you guys to have a good night. And I hope everyone out there can take care of themselves. So peace, love, and happiness. Hello? Hello?